What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
CROWNCAST.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row, we're back at it. We didn't get kicked off YouTube for the tariff and, talking trash about
Not yet.
our Trump overlord.
But yeah, I don't think we'll get kicked off now. Maybe on the other administration we would have got kicked off.
Well, shadow banned or ghosted or some other word.
Probably.
Yeah. But, well, happy to do this, continue to do this, and want to show off some projects and everything. And today we're going to look at a project we did a couple years ago during the last crazy pandemic we had.
Yeah, I have some vivid memories of this. I haven't thought about this job in a while, but when we said we were going to talk about it, this was our COVID job. This was because we have done a podcast before we did a COVID job podcast, but that was out in California. I don't think COVID was like, I guess it was when we went back the second time. This was the first job that was truly affected by it, because I remember having conversations with the church, and
Right.
both of us were trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And no one really knew what was going on.
Yeah, and the trades started to slow down. The trades were like,
Yeah.
We're not doing the install because of COVID. You can't work in there with 6 foot, whatever,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
COVID had been around. It had spiked up for sure. Florida wasn't shut down yet, though. Florida never really did, but I guess they did at some point for like 3 weeks.
Yep.
But so COVID was, people knew what it was. It was going on, and we were doing this job because we'd been down there before.
Yep.
Kind of doing some pre-stuff. And then I remember we got the call. We didn't get the call, but it was on the news that now Florida was shutting down too. And
Right.
you had to, shelter in place and the whole thing, unless you were essential. That was when all the essential thing happened.
Horrible.
And like, are we essential or are we not essential? And
We were not essential.
but
We acted like we were.
We were. And those were the conversations we were having with the church.
Feeding our family was essential.
Yeah.
Hence, we were essential.
Yeah. I remember going down. I mean, should we say what the church is and where we're going?
Yeah. Generation Church in Jupiter, Florida.
So that area, if people don't know, of the state is I would say blue. Most of Florida is red, but that area over there, Miami and Jupiter, those areas, that's usually blue or at least purple at best.
Mm-hmm.
So I do remember going there, and we weren't wearing masks yet, because I remember going there and going to a gas station, and the cashier dude was like freaking out on me because I didn't have a mask on, and I thought he was joking around.
So this is before everyone was wearing masks?
Yeah.
This
so
is right at the beginning of it.
Maybe this was when we went down before we got locked down.
Right.
But when I had my first mask issue ever was at that job, at a gas station.
Yep.
And we were probably there pulling cable or something. It was early in the job, so it wasn't lockdown yet. But yeah, I remember the dude like freaking out on me, and he said, "You can't be in here without a mask." And I literally thought he was joking. It was that point of it, and he was serious, and he had a mask on, and he was pointing, and they were selling them on the thing. I was like, "I'm not buying a mask." And he's like, "You can't be in here." And I remember just doing this with my shirt when he was like,
That's poor man's
"Nope.
mask.
All right."
That was the poor man's
And
mask
then
back in the day.
meeting people at the building, like a few minutes after that, I was like, that dude was freaking out on me with the whole mask thing. And they were like, mask? And so this job, I think, happened like during the beginning parts of COVID, and then it got COVID serious crap. And then they were still trying to launch this church, though,
Right.
in the middle of it.
Which I agree with.
I know.
It was, let's never do that again, people. Let's not let the government shut us down. Let's not freak out that bad over, I had it and I got tired. I was tired for a day.
Yeah.
That was it.
I know.
I got it a couple times. Every single time, a little cough, tired. That was
Yeah.
it. It was pretty obvious who it was affecting. It was people that had all these comorbidities and were already sick.
Yeah.
And obviously that was a very difficult time for those people. And I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
But you can't shut down a whole country. You can't tell people to stay in their homes forever. It's just unrealistic.
We got super lucky that we were in Florida,
Very lucky.
because we saw what happened everywhere else. And even when Florida shut down, which we kind of still did things, but it was very short lived.
I think we were only out freedomed by, I think, like South Dakota.
I think
Who just pretend
South
like they
Dakota
didn't-
was the number one.
They pretend like they didn't have the news, and there's like, hey,
Right.
what's up, y'all?
They never shut down. Florida
Never
was
shut down.
Florida was the kind of the last one to shut down and the first one to reopen.
Right.
And that was the whole spring break thing, and everyone came here and everyone got COVID. And it was like this crazy. Florida numbers went absolutely nuts, man, and everyone was just Florida's the worst from all the other states.
Yeah.
But they were like, this is we're opening back up.
I remember we had some church clients that had like youth events, and then someone would get COVID, and then it'd be in the news. It'd be
was in
like
the news, yeah.
super spreader event at this
super
church.
spreader.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's such a weird time. Like, we have to just look back at that and think. I saw, memories pop up in your phone where I was scrolling through pictures, and this memory popped up. It was me and my family, and we all had masks on.
Ugh.
It was just so weird to think that we all did that for a while.
I hated it, man.
It's so dumb.
My kids were in public school,
I know.
and so they had to wear a mask, and then they had like plexiglass things around their desk. It was so ridiculous. And honestly, like, my daughter was like, I like the mask because it was like some princess, Princess whoever, Jasmine or something like that. She's like, I like the mask, and it's okay. And I'm just thinking inside, I'm just dying inside, thinking this is so stupid. I hate that she has to wear this. We're definitely gonna get this kicked off YouTube then now.
We might. I don't know if you
The
do
more you talk
anymore.
about COVID, the less likely the algorithm's going to bring you anywhere.
That was the
we might as well
reality.
just be talking to ourselves right now.
It was the reality though for this project, and
Yeah.
and then we were dealing with that as a company. Like, we didn't know. We're like, are we just going to tell our guys to go work anyway? Like, are we allowed to do that? Or we got into all that crap. But
Right. Remember when OSHA started to, the Biden administration tried to turn OSHA against small companies.
yeah, because a lot of people were still working because they had to.
To make it mandatory vaccinations.
Yeah.
I remember us having that conversation. So what does that mean? Are we going to do it? Are we going to make our guys get a vaccine? And we're like, no, we're not.
Didn't do
So
it.
this company just turns into fighting the regime.
Yeah, I mean,
was ready for it.
we kept at it. I mean, I remember talking to this church. I remember having a conversation with this church, and they were like, again, that's a kind of a blue area down there. So I think they were feeling it more from just their local governments in that area,
Right.
for sure. And they were really trying to lock down, but they were kind of just saying, hey, if you guys can say that you're essential, then you can come here and work. And we're like, well, what is it? You're looking up at the list, and it's like, like, it was like low voltage stuff. It was like network stuff because of internet. I mean, there was some weird things on there. We're like, I guess we could fit in. I don't know.
You imagine if on that list it was AVL integrator? We just can't live without them. They're essential.
I know.
AVL integrators, the design build teams out there, we have to keep them going.
When I first saw it, I was like, there's no way. I mean, we hang speakers and LED walls. That is not an essential thing. But that thing was very gray. It was a very gray area, and it was stupid anyway.
It was all stupid.
Good thing is, Florida, like I said, it only was like a 3-week thing. Now, we still had to, it still sucked when we were there. We had to wear masks. Tons of restaurants there were not open.
Right.
If they were, you had to eat outside. It was like whatever they called it, the personal space or
6 feet.
social distancing. That's what it was. That whole thing was there. Other construction people would be on site, and some of them would be very weirded out about it. So you had to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what was going on. This project happened in like the
thick of it.
the absolute thick of it.
Yeah. Well, it ended up being okay though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all this other stuff we had to deal with, and COVID and all that craziness. But outside of that, project went well. I've got some stuff we can show.
Yeah.
I've got the floor plan and our SketchUp file because it was a renovation.
Right.
So I forget what it used to be. There was an old chapel that they're still using for their youth room.
Yeah. That place was cool. Like
Yeah.
it was old, super old.
And that's the funny thing is we're doing this because Aaron, their worship leader, just hit us up about that room
Today.
today. Yeah,
How
so
weird.
Aaron, that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this one. If you're
Sparked
watching,
our memory.
So, yeah, we're like, all right, let's do generations. So
Yeah.
Aaron's a great guy. He's the worship leader there and very tech savvy. He did a bunch of the stuff. They did it in house. They did most of their video in house.
Also frequently makes the cover of magazines.
That's right. Yeah.
Look them up
Church Production Magazine, I think.
on the cover.
I think right when we met him, he was
Yeah.
like, hey, check this out. It's cool. Okay, yeah, let's take a look. So, I mean, I don't know how much this floor plan's going to show us, but I mean, we'll take a look. So, pretty cool building, pretty chill. Main entrance at the top, big lobby area, beautiful lobby area.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I don't have any pictures of it, but it was beautiful.
I mean, we should say too, that area is like upscale, like Jupiter area, that whole area.
Wasn't like Epstein's house right there or something?
That whole that's all that area. So that island, I forget what the island's called. That's there. That tons of celebrities and very 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 wealthy people live in that
Right.
area.
Yeah.
Super upscale part of Florida for
Yeah.
sure. Nice place.
Epstein did not go to this church.
No.
If he did, he would have been saved and he wouldn't have done all those horrible things. So just throw that
Now
out
we talked about COVID and Epstein in this.
there. Yeah, right. We're really gonna make it to the top now. All right, yeah. So yeah, great lobby area. Here's the main auditorium. It seats about what? It's
think- I thought it was like 400 maybe.
yeah, around 400. I think.
Yeah. It's good size. It's a nice
Yeah.
room. Not
Okay.
giant, but felt good in there.
Yep, front of house booth here. So what they really wanted to make happen in here was a bunch of LED walls, different levels of it. So kind of you can see here we have some panels on the floor here, and then you have a second tier right here floating, and then a third. I think that's kind of what it ended up being, right?
Yep, that's what it ended up being. It's cool.
And then we had some on the side like this.
Yep.
So very video heavy, which was actually really cool to try and help put this together with the trussing and the rigging, and then working out all the resolutions between all the panels. In this rendering, we had LED sidewalls that ended up being projectors, so that was
Yep.
a budget cut. Obviously, everyone wants LED walls, but can't always get them.
Yeah, I can say that that middle section of LED panels, that was only like, if you know LED walls at all, that's only a 4 output controller for that thing, and that's the first time ever that we have used every single possible pixel available on a controller to push out to panels. Like every single one was used on
Was
that.
that the V400? Was that what it was?
Yeah, the VX400, I think
VX400.
it was.
Yeah.
And there's only one processor for that entire center section, including the ribbons.
Right.
Just absolutely stacked. Get your money's worth for sure.
Yeah. So we helped design this room, the AV systems, the stage a little bit. The stage ended up being different than this rendering. I remember they had some pretty crazy things they had to do with the stage. I think it's a sprinkler underneath it.
That's right.
I mean, it was pretty rough.
Hence, I say the
So-
local government there.
Yeah,
is-
different jurisdictions have different codes and laws for certain things. Just like this, I mean, it's a funny thing. If you call this a stage, that like opens up
Yeah.
this huge can of worms.
Right.
And inspectors and city people, they go, oh, a stage? Well, you need this, you need that, you need this, and blah, blah, blah. So you get around calling it like a platform.
Right.
It's a platform. It's a
Hence
raised platform.
The church verbiage of platform.
Church verbiage. So if you're ever doing a church design or whatever, on your layout with your names, call it a platform. Don't call it a stage. It doesn't matter. It's just the words. As soon as they say stage, you go, well, in the NEC book, it says the stage has to... fire curtains and stuff like that.
Yep.
No one's going to do that. So just call it a platform, and you'll be cool. But I think they did have to do some pretty wild stuff under that stage. And we ended up having the front fills, I think, inside the stage with the bunkers, with the sub bunkers.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think we have pictures of it too. But so yeah, pretty heavy LED wall design, heavy on the rigging, heavy on all that stuff. Bunch of curtains. Oh, the PA. We went with L acoustics. So this was this is back in the day though. That was those are the arcs. So yeah, what other things do we kind of talk about on this project? What were some of the highlights?
Yeah. So the rigging was pretty crazy here. They wanted to have the ability to have all these different kinds of rig points,
Yep.
different elevations and different depths of the stage, which is really cool because they can do all kinds of. They did a bunch of lighting.
Yep.
He was great on kind of his light, what he wanted to do with lighting, and they did kind of lighting on their own with this, but they had it in their mind where they needed this infrastructure in place, different types of power. We ran 208 here for like all their lighting, so we could double up on all of that.
Right.
These trusses that are put in are all on chain hoist as well, so they can move them up and down.
Yep.
Didn't go with motors; it was a budget thing, so chain hoist. But even with that, you're having to do power looms and data cable looms so that you can raise these things up and down and not tear your cabling up. There was a lot of time and effort, I remember, into this rigging stuff. And then there was something to do with the steel at this building. They had some massive steel thing or something.
They
that
had
to
these two
happen.
steel members right here. So I forget what this used to be. I think it used to be like a grocery store or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But they had these two massive steel I-beams. And essentially that was just like, okay, well, we got to build the stage around that.
Yeah.
That's our only structural supports.
And then that set like our height. Like we wanted more height. Like the height you see in the room looks really good, but we fought for like every freaking inch of that.
Yep.
With the rigging and trying to use things to suck it up as high as absolutely possible.
Yep.
In these areas.
Right.
That was a challenge with this room for sure, but it turned out really cool.
Right.
And it works great for what they're doing. They got all the elevations they wanted. They got all the different depths in the stage with the different trusses. So it's at the end of the day, it worked out.
Yeah.
But it was quite a bit in there for that small of a stage. A lot going on.
Yeah, let's take a look at this sketch just blew up, by the way. Getting rid of it. There we go. Here's the sound vision file. You want to see that?
Sure.
Okay. So what we have here is 3 arcs, which they don't make anymore. They sound great. Now they have the A15s.
Right.
That's kind of what these guys used to be.
Yep.
It's a point source array. So you had 2 focuses over a wide. They call them like WIFOs, wides over focuses, with some X12 outfills, kind of getting these little areas over here. We flew some SB18s, and then we had some SB18s in the floor with some 5XTs.
Yep.
And, really took care of the room. Sounded great. Probably just enough low end. Is barely enough low end, but,
Yeah, I remember. I like the rigging on these speakers way more
Than the new ones?
than the new ones.
The bars.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had
you
like
hold it up and you just slide it. You just
Yeah.
and you put that little pin in.
Right.
That's nice, man. I liked that.
Well,
'cause-
the touring version of the A15s, they have little clips, which are nice.
Right.
But the install ones that we typically do, because we're typically installing, we're not
Right.
touring with them, those are just
Yeah.
those bars and
know.
bolts.
yeah,
Machine screws.
yeah, I remember the rigging on these.
Not fun. So let's see what it says here. Yeah. Unweighted, 109, just about 110 decibel. 102 at A weight, 108 at C weight. Yeah.
It's great for what they're doing. Like it sounded good in that room.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people ask, like, why would you fly subs and put them on the floor? Like, a lot of clients typically ask that. They go, well, should we put the subs on the floor, or should we put the subs in the sky, like in the air? What do you think? And honestly, it's kind of depends on the room, depends on the situation, really.
Yeah.
If you can put them under the
Right.
the
Sometimes we
stage,
don't even have
sometimes
access
you
to
don't
the
have-
stage,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Especially on a renovation where the stage is concrete poured, you
Right.
can't do anything. So, like, what is the answer? I think it's both.
Yeah.
Typically, if you can, both is probably best. On the floor, you get more energy out of those subs. They essentially have a boundary effect off the floor, and all that extra acoustic energy moves forward.
Right.
Instead of omni, which it typically goes omni.
Right.
Then in the ceiling or flown subs, they are typically more. If you fly a bunch of subs, typically even in the center, like a center cluster, you get a really great coverage in the room.
Yeah.
Because essentially every seat is about 15 to 20 feet away from the sub.
Right.
So at that point, the inverse square law, everyone's kind of getting a more average of the sub.
Yeah.
Versus if it's on the floor in the stage and you have the front row seat, I mean, they're right there. They're 3 feet away from the sub. So they're getting a lot more low frequency.
Yep.
So you're getting that here in this room too. The flown ones in this scenario are to just add a little bit of I think we had them at 100 hertz, and they just kind of coupled with those main arcs to make that a full range. I mean, a little bit extra chunk there. Sounded great.
Yeah, if you're at a church and you have an issue with maybe your pastor or leadership who always sits on the front row and are complaining about the low end, it may help you a bit if you want to try to get them up in the air.
Yep. Yeah, you lose a little bit of that.
You lose a little bit of that punch.
Well, I mean, you just got to add more, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely feel the punch on the floor. You get extra sonic power. So
Yeah, we tend to do both a lot of times.
Right.
I like it.
Yep. So those are the arcs. Great speakers. But no more. They are not here anymore. So, okay. Well, let me see. I can find some pictures of it. Is there anything else you want to go through? Any other things off the list that we did there? Anything specific?
I'm trying to think. Did we do a console there with them?
I don't think so.
They may have had it already. This was a church already. This was not a church launch. They were already up and going, but this was just a new location for them.
Yeah.
So they had people in place, and they had a band already. They had production guys. They had stuff ready to go.
Right.
So this was more of like what they needed to fill for this new room outside of what they didn't have yet.
Yep.
So the PA, the LED wall, like I said, some lighting that they did on their own. Oh, we did Do you remember all the curtains we did in this room? I sewed them.
Oh, I was gonna say custom curtains. Custom curtains by Ben.
We did get custom curtains, but we didn't account for like that step down where the steps are on the stage right there.
Yep.
And the client just didn't want a bundle of curtain on the ground.
Makes sense.
Which makes sense.
Right.
But like you said before, the stage was changing a lot, and we had to buy the curtains, so we bought them, and then we ended up cutting them and re-sewing them to fit the stage. I remember doing that.
Seamster.
Yeah.
Is that the male version of seamstress?
A seamster. Yeah.
He's such a seamster.
Did it with my Walmart sewing machine, dude. It worked.
Crazy. Let's take a look at some pictures. See if that jogs any other memories. How long was this install?
Well, it got a little weird because of the whole COVID thing, but I think we went down there for like a week, and we did all the cable pulls, and we did as much rigging as we could. And then I think we went back for another 2 weeks to finish up, the majority of it. And then towards the end of that second week, we had a rehearsal with them. And then did they launch right away, or I feel like maybe they took a couple weeks to get a custom in there, which I think is nice, but I can't remember.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Bam. So, that's it.
Yeah.
That's on the side stage left, looking at all those different panels. Man, they did a great job at mapping across that and with their content, because they had to create custom content for this. It doesn't just you can't just play a YouTube video and it perfectly go across this whole thing.
Yeah, because it would it would put an image everywhere, but there's just blank spaces all over the place. It wouldn't make sense.
Right. You have to account for all those spacing in between the panels. And not take up that resolution too.
Right.
So even if it's a black spot that video should go, but it's not there because there's no panels, you're wasting resolution.
Yeah. You're wasting power on that controller. Yeah.
Right. So, and like you said, I think this processor used every inch, every pixel available.
Every pixel available on that thing.
Right.
So the output cables were maxed out, and the processor too.
Right.
It's
so their
cool.
video, the video that they comped down to play off this took into account the spacing between the panels.
Right.
But then when you looked at it in the like on the Pro Presenter or whatever, it looked all weird because of all these different missing
voids
voids and spots. Yeah. So you can see here we had light fixtures at the bottom of the trussing, which is kind of cool. That was that was another light pipe that came down with all these fixtures in between.
Yep.
Let's see here. Yeah, let's cross the stage.
That stage, it made that room look really big in pictures.
Yeah.
You could see it and think, man, it looked like a massive room.
Right.
And it wasn't. But that's a good job. Good job by them.
Yeah, it looks really good. Did we do speakers in the stage on this one? Did we do floor wedges?
Oh, maybe that's what those are.
Yeah,
right
I think
there.
we did floor wedges. I forget what we did.
Oh, I think we did.
Yeah, that's hit or miss whether it works or not.
I think it was the pastor wanted to be able to hear his voice better,
right,
on stage. I think that's what those are.
Every time we do that, I'm always a little disappointed.
Yeah,
it's just because you can't get the I mean, it's always at a funny angle. The hole has to be big enough so that the speaker's far enough away so that it goes up at the right angle.
It's really only great when you're standing in a good spot for it to hit you. And pastors walk around everywhere, so it's like you cover the whole front of the stage with them, or what,
Yeah, I'd rather have. We've done some other ones where it's like a light trough, and we've had speakers like little, like
small
5XTs or whatever in them, and kind of shooting up at the musicians or at the pastor.
Yeah,
I like that better than being in the ground. My opinion. So, it looks great. Oh, there. I don't know what that is. Downloading. Yeah, let me show you. I've got some other ones here. Yeah, that's a good one there. So look at the seats.
I was about to say the seats are spaced because
the seats are spaced
because of COVID.
Because of COVID. That'll keep you safe.
And that's close too.
You ain't gonna get COVID because of that.
Yeah, you can see the projector screens there now because, like we said, they didn't do LED walls at that point.
Right.
We did projectors and screens.
Yeah, so they had a dimmer that we set up upstairs in the rack room for some front lighting, and then they had LED everywhere else. They had LED house lights. I think those movers were LED, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, great lighting. Ended up looking good.
Yep.
There's my boy Aaron, center stage, screaming it.
There he is.
Yeah, I think this is the first service.
Yeah, it was.
Man, those services, every first service, so many nerves.
Yeah.
Typically, it's them nervous, not us. I mean, our first couple of gigs, we were nervous.
Yeah.
And now,
well, they've been, and we've said this before, like we do this every single day. Like this is our life. So I think our nerves are probably on, either they're used to it or they're just on edge all the time. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, church building a building for the first time, and they've been through hell the past year and a half or 2 years, whatever it was.
Right.
Everything going on. And then they're finally launching, and there's a lot of money involved too. There's all kinds of stresses. Yeah, I remember we typically go to the first launches of buildings, and we'll be there hanging out.
Yeah.
And we kind of all have our roles on those times, and I usually try to hang out with the pastor a bit if I can. And I remember I've said it in the past few times. I've tried to tell them to kind of forget about the past 2 years and be like, just kind of look where you are right now. Look, it's happened, like it's here, and just enjoy the first service. Forget about all the crap that's happened in the past. This whole process, but actually get to enjoy your first service because you're only gonna get to do it, this one time, which is kind of cool. Yeah, but those are fun though. Those first services are fun. I can't remember maybe that's not normal. We have not had a bad first. We haven't had like something crazy happen or something on a first service. Like it has gone pretty well. I can't remember like any kind of catastrophe happening at all on a first service somewhere.
No, we had one where in the middle, like pretty much in the evening, so we had a rehearsal before the first service on the next day, and the network went down.
Yes.
And like blew up. And I remember being up all night trying to fix that.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst, but it still happened.
Service still happened.
Service still happened. No one knew.
Yeah.
But that was a stressor. Horrible. But here, everything went fine. There's always little things here and there. People are getting used to new equipment. They're not used to whatever. But nothing catastrophic ever.
Yeah.
We put a lot of time and effort into prepping those first services.
Right.
That's why we was pushing for these additional rehearsals, because people getting in there and musicians getting their ears ready and just feeling out the room and getting light cues correct. Like
those are definitely the most successful, I think, when they can have a couple of run-throughs to where it's not just construction and then a crazy rehearsal and then, hey, we're launching tomorrow.
Right.
We've done those a lot too, and they still happen. But the difference in that and then having a couple dry run weekends where you can just let it go and really figure things out, it's worth it.
Right.
It's worth the extra couple weeks.
Right.
We don't always get it.
The worst prep for the worst prep or the worst situation, I think, for the new launch is probably Bayside when we're on staff.
Yes.
For the new building.
100%.
That was horrible. We got to do a whole podcast on that.
We should, because that's Crown was going then. We didn't do that. I mean, we helped a lot with it, but
right.
Man, yeah,
that was
nightmare.
Was
nuts.
Yeah. All right, come in. We'll have another one. You guys got to hear those stories. Ridiculous.
And people never knew either. People would walk in and just be like, "Oh, it's so amazing in here," and just no clue 5 minutes before then what was happening.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that one. I'll set the stage for it. It's Christmas Eve service in a brand new 2,500 room seat room, and we never got video through to the projectors until maybe 2 hours before service.
Yeah, there were tons of systems that did not work until right before service started.
All up all night, sleeping under desks for like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It was nuts.
But this one went well. Let me show some other pictures. Ooh, pretty guitar. I like those. I like those guitars. Gretsch used to have one. So yeah, we saw that already. So yeah, pretty cool room. You can see there the arcs. The SB18 flown with the X12s. Yeah, so you can't see the front fills. The front fills were inside with the.
That's right.
Yeah, with the subs. Yeah, there they are.
There we go.
Gorgeous.
Those beams were nice for rigging for those speakers.
That's perfect.
It made it really.
And the spacing did end up working out well, for the design of the room. But it was very difficult to get things as high as possible. That was the issue.
Yep.
Now that you're saying it, and I think we did get it built up.
We did. I mean, like those speakers are slammed.
Yeah, that's a shackle, dude. That's
That's
shackle
that
to
beam mount. That's that beam mount with an eyeball and a shackle. That's it.
Yep. Definitely. All right.
Did we do acoustical treatment in there? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
Somebody did.
I remember them needing a little bit more of it too. There's a little bit of a slap in there, but this was they had a budget and it was in the middle of COVID. What are you gonna do? You do your best.
Telling you what, man.
Yeah, you do your best. But really fun project, good people, good church. That always helps.
Yeah, they had it going on. Like they had a good band, they had good vocalists. The pastor's cool, and like it just it was good working with them.
Yeah.
We both made it through the whole COVID thing. We were trying to figure it out at the same time. Like they're building a building, we're trying to figure out if we can even go work. Mm-hmm. So we both went through it and came out at the end, with it all together. And this was, I guess, 4 years ago at this point, because it was COVID time. And church is still rocking. Like we said, they called us today. They're going to try to do some upgrades in this other chapel area that's beside this building.
Right.
I feel like it's like 100 years old or something. Like it's a really, really old historic building, I think.
Yeah. I was looking through to try and find pictures. I couldn't find it.
Yeah. It's cool too, man. So
Yeah.
maybe we do an update on that at some point when we do it.
Yeah.
And talk about it because it's a cool room. But yeah, the church is great. They're growing, you know, and they're in a, I don't want to say it's a tough spot in Florida, but like they're not in the Bible Belt part of Florida.
Yeah. What's the Bible Belt of Florida?
I think everywhere except like Miami and Tallahassee, maybe, and Jacksonville a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this is not that area. So they're down there doing their thing, and it's cool. It's a different life down there.
It is. Things move differently.
Yeah, not a nice cars, man. I remember.
Oh yeah.
Sweet cars driving around.
Yep. East Coast style, man.
Yeah,
We've done a couple jobs over there. It definitely
Yeah.
feels different when we're over there.
yeah.
Yeah. So, any other equipment that we did here? Any other specifics?
I can't remember. Like I said, this
They had
was
some cameras. They did Black Magic cameras. I think they had them from their other campus.
yeah, this was an active church already, so it was more of like a piece together. What are the big things they need for this new building?
Right.
And it was mostly that LED wall, the PA, and the lighting.
Yep. There was a production suite upstairs.
That's right.
That had. That's where the video directors were.
Yep.
I believe they're just running an ATEM, Black Magic ATEM.
Rack room was upstairs there with it too.
Yep. They had. I think they were running Waves for their online mix. They had a Waves rig, like the Waves console. I forget what it's called. Not sound. They had a sound grid going too, but it's whatever the software's called.
Yeah.
Which now they have a Surface. They have an actual Surface for it.
I know.
It's actually kind of nice.
I've been seeing them
Yeah.
online, floating around. Pretty cool.
Which has their own 3D monitoring, 3D in-ear
That's right.
monitors.
That's right. I forgot about
I
that.
think it's called EMO. And so you get that with a license. Just update the license and boom. Pretty sweet.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good project. Small, not the biggest. Kind of quick, kind of there for a couple weeks. But it was done well. So good people and good design and if like you said, it felt way bigger than it was.
Yeah,
when
when you can look at pictures, and it feels like a really big room,
Right.
Or you watch their video feed or something, and it feels like a large room. That's cool. That means they're doing a good job and set up right, and because that's kind of what you want. You want a really cool feel like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I liked it. I think this is the place where we stayed at Vanilla Ice's neighborhood. Is this where we did that?
No, I think it's in Orlando.
No, it's down there.
Oh, really?
Remember that kid like came and beat on my window? Remember that whole
That's for
thing? We
this?
stayed in it was a mansion. It was a neighborhood of mansions where we went. The whole entire neighborhood was mansions, and it was like an Airbnb that we stayed in.
I remember that house. I remember I was the
what-
only one that had AC, I think.
Yes, at that place. It was
Yeah.
either this or it was the other church down there that we did. I can't remember, but it was this. It was the same area.
You're right.
It was Vanilla Ice's neighborhood. If you watched his home renovation show, he has a home renovation show. I saw it.
Oh, really?
He bought a house in there. His house was in there, and he did a show. He did an episode on it. And I
Oh,
was like, "Yep, that's the neighborhood. That's where we were."
And he lives in there?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
That's funny. Yeah. We did a design here for them let's see if I have it here still. I did a design for their lobby. It was going to be a pretty sweet
yeah.
audio system in the lobby.
I saw it I was looking through emails before we
you?
did this, and I saw I saw an email about
Want
it.
to take a look at it?
Yeah,
Yeah, let me get it going.
yeah, because they were doing some kind of cool stuff too. Like where they would do like these little, almost like coffee house vibe
In the lobby.
services in their lobby, because like we said before, their lobby is really nice. It's really
Right.
cool, and you could vibe out in there.
Yep.
And they wanted some cool speakers, and just wanted to make the audio next level out there. We
Yep.
ended up not doing it, but that's kind of a different thing that they were doing there.
Yeah. Check this out. So this is for the lobby. And they ended up not doing this. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
This was, at first they hit us up. They said, we want it to be legit. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. We'll make it happen. But then I think legit was a little too expensive for them.
Yeah. It's, it always comes down to budget at the end of the day.
Yeah. So this had a single sub. So they kind of wanted to do like an acoustic set in the round.
Yeah.
And they were setting up chairs in this orientation. So these are all X8s, I believe, and then a sub that was going to float in the ceiling. They had like I/O panels in the back here, and they're going to be able to use their current console, but with just different snakes and stuff, which is kind of smart.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. But, they'd have people literally like sitting over here and then like looking towards the stage, and people over by this door looking this way towards the stage. And so it's all about orientation of those speakers. It was very difficult. Because you want the sound to sound like it's coming from where the people are. Right. But in that orientation, it was very difficult. But, I mean, it would have been cool, I think. Mm-hmm. But they probably did something a little easier to figure out. Threw up some speakers. But, yeah.
That's what you got to do, though. I mean, churches these days, I think you have to kind of change it up a bit. Do some different things. Use different parts of your building. Like do cool like that. I remember this about this church specifically. Like they were doing stuff like that, having actual services in the lobby. Right. On a different night, and not using you'd think, well, you just have a service, you do it in your room that you just built. But they wanted like this whole other vibe. And that's why then they have that chapel too, which is where their youth is, and they're going to kind of set some stuff up in there too. Right. I think it's cool.
Well, if you're doing an event and you don't have enough people to fill the room, it's a downer.
Yeah.
So, we deal with a lot of that with like mobile churches that meet in schools. They get this big school auditorium, 1,100 seats.
There's nothing worse than like a 20% filled room.
It's horrible.
Even if you have a 1,000-seat auditorium at a school and you have a couple hundred people there, that's awesome.
Right.
But it's 80% empty.
Yeah, it's like the social aspect of our head. We see a big room with which may be a great amount of people for like a church launch.
Right.
Like, say like 120 people. Like that's a good little church launch.
Right.
But if it's in a 1,200 seat room, it feels like
feels like a fail.
Feels like a fail. Feel like people didn't show up.
Yeah.
And there's tricks you can do. You can get the seat covers.
Mask it off. You do pipe and drape. You're trying to make your room smaller.
Yep.
But
make it small.
An idea of like using a different room in your building to have a service is pretty cool.
Right.
Like, hey, let's use the lobby and do something cool out there and pack it. Like where there's not even enough seats for people. Then if it's 120 people and you can barely fit 120 people in there, it feels like this place is crazy, man. It's so packed. Like that's the way to do it. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, you gotta even at bigger churches. I remember when we went to Elevation, they use pipe and drape, to funnel people into the front.
They'd funnel them in the front,
and then they
would move it.
They move pipe and drape
as people came in.
Right, as people come in, they're like, "All right, next," whoop, and they open it up and see people, and then they go back. And so these poor volunteers are grabbing pipe and drape and base plates, moving it back
row by row as people were coming in.
Yeah, they did that at all their campuses. I wonder if they still do it.
I think it's cool.
Celebration, their big building, they had a massive curtain that would close off the upper seating.
Yep.
To make just the floor feel more intimate.
Yeah. Those big rooms are awesome. I love them. But yeah, you could have a big event and 300 or 400 people show up, which is a lot.
Right.
And it feels wrong and empty in there.
That's why it's important to invest in the youth room.
That's right.
Invest in the kids' room, because those are the rooms that you use for all the small group things or like smaller events. Yep. So, make sure that you put in the infrastructure so that they can do a service.
Having that secondary option of a room that's set up right, where you can have a good band and everything, and it sounds good still, and have a real service in there is a plus, man.
Typically, the kids wouldn't notice.
Right.
Kids are just like, yeah. It's got enough bass. It's like, yeah. But
Also makes it way easier on running the event too. You don't have to run some giant room, the full system and everything. You can
Right.
go in something smaller, and you don't have to have as many volunteers. All of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Anything
Like
else
it.
to say on this one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's pretty sleek little system, chill. Not a ton to go over, but
Yeah,
thought we share it with y'all.
yeah.
Cool. Well, like and subscribe. I
Heyo.
guess we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep this going and keep going over some of these projects and new stuff coming up. We got some cool different type of projects, not all churches, that we can go over and show y'all some pretty advanced stuff. It's been a lot of fun. Some mobile churches coming your way. Those
Yeah.
are cool. So yeah, like and subscribe if you want to watch it. Let us know. And if you need anything integration wise, crowndesigngroup.org
Hit us up.
or crowncare.help. That's 24/7 AVL emergency support. So pretty huge. No one else does it. I don't think anyone else does.
No one in the world.
I don't think anyone else is crazy enough to do it.
We're the
We're the
greatest
best
in the world.
We're the best. We're the best. But yeah. Until next time.
Peace out.
Peace.